Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to Hunt Hill at Home. It is a beautiful but very windy day here at Hunt Hill, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay. Um, you can hear the wind going through the trees right now. I'm right at the edge of Hunt Hill's State Natural Area, which is past the driveway and onto the Red Oak Trail. And we're going to be looking at the lichens today. Now, I know that Independence Day is coming up pretty soon here at the end of the week, but lichens are actually the very opposite. They are interdependent. So we're going to be celebrating some interdependence here too. But before we get started, I've got our joke of the day for you. So, why did the algae and the fungus get married? They took a lichen to each other. Okay, before we actually get into lichens though, part of the reason why I stopped here was I noticed something really cool on my way over. So I'm going to show you that first. So, turn our camera around. So I saw this little blob on the ground and I wasn't sure what it was when I was approaching it. It looked kind of like poop almost, but it's not that. Once you get closer, you'll see all of these little holes, and they're all hexagonal holes. They have 6 sides. So this is our wasp nest. You can see some slugs trying to move into it. Those slugs aren't naturally in a wasp nest, but they crawled onto it after it rained and fell down last night. So let's take a look at it. Some of these have covers on them still. They might have been holding something like eggs in there or some food. And it's got 3 tiers like a cake. You wouldn't want to eat this cake though. Oh, what's in this guy? Oh, that might be a slug. And you can see where it fell down from. If you look way up here, there's the rest of that wasp nest that got stuck in the tree, and only the insides fell out. So I thought that was a neat thing to see. Okay, so now I will show you some things about lichens. So I'm really liking the lichens around here, and I think you'll notice that there are some really interesting things for you to see. So if we take a look at this tree, it's almost impossible to tell what color the actual bark is. There is so much lichen on here. Now, lichen is a really interesting relationship. It's an interdependent relationship, and it's called symbiosis. And in symbiosis, 2 things work together and they both benefit. So in this case with the lichen, we have both a fungus and some sort of algae or cyanobacteria working together. And the fungus creates the structure. So you can see that there's a structure to it. It's just not totally a blob. There's something to it. And then the algae and cyanobacteria create the energy for it because they can do photosynthesis when fungus cannot. So let's take a look here. We've got a bunch of different types, you would need to have some chemical tests to find out the full species of these, but we can split them into 3 different types of general lichens that you can see. The first type is called, let me double check to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. It is called crustose. And crustose, like it sounds, makes a crust on here. So it looks almost like paint. It's hard to tell the difference between where the bark ends and the crustose lichen begins. So all of this white stuff is our crustose lichen. Now we also have one that's called foliose. Now foliose takes its name from the word foliage, and foliage are just like the leaves on a tree. So foliose is like it has leaf-like structures to it. So if we take a look at this little green one here, you can see little leaves coming off of it almost. Now they're not real leaves because this is a fungus and algae that are working together. There are no leaves involved, but they look kind of leaf-like. So these are foliose. Now there is one more type that I searched and searched for and I could not find. I know we have it around here, but I didn't have enough time to find a good spot to show you it. That type is called fruit. Let me double check my notes. I'm always worried that I'm going to teach you something wrong. So it's called fruticose. And fruticose looks kind of like moss. And I'll show you some moss so you can compare. So here's some moss. Moss is an actual plant. It's not a lichen. But fruticose can look somewhat like a moss because it has more structure that comes out from the tree like this. You can tell the difference between a moss and a fruticose lichen because moss always have to be green. Lichens can be all sorts of colors. Some are yellowish, some are reddish, some have bluish tones, some have whitish tones. They can really cover a wide spectrum of colors. Moss always has to be this vibrant green so it can do some photosynthesis. And moss also have teeny tiny little roots that help them connect to the tree. The fruticose lichen does not have any roots. It just has some things to help it kind of grab on a little bit. But it will look quite a bit different from just your regular old moss. Okay, so I would encourage you to check out all of the trees around you, and I'm going to show you a few more trees here so that you can be thinking about them. But you'll be impressed, I think, by all of the different types of lichen that you can find. So let's take a look. So we have some more of this whitish lichen on here. Look at this tree. It is almost completely covered. Wow. And all the way to the top too, it doesn't stop. Anyone watching know what this type is? It is foliose. Let's take a look at this one. This one has some vibrant green as well as like the sea foam greenish color. We've got some more white crustose on here. So there's quite a variety just in these few feet that I've walked. Now, I hope that you find a whole spectrum of colors. Maybe you'll even find some yellow ones or some reddish tinted ones. I like the ones that are kind of bluish too here. Here's another foliose one. Oh, and a nice little slug. Well, thank you all for watching, and I hope you get a chance to enjoy all the interdependence and the lichens around. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye!